Actually in front of a crowd, the 28-31 New York Yankees took on the 29-30 Baltimore Orioles at Camden Yards. Ivan Nova set to make his first start of the 2015 season after coming back from Tommy John surgery. We'll start things off top half of the second. One out as Kevin FRANDSEN, playing first base on the day, takes one to left center field, and that'll ricochet off the wall as he has himself an easy stand-up double with one out to bring up Didi Gregorius, the Flying Dutchman. He takes Bud Norris's pitch into left field for a base knock. FRANDSEN chugs his way to the plate, and Didi Gregorius, RBI single, puts the Yankees up 1-0. To the top half of the third we go now. Jacoby Ellsbury takes a base knock up the middle past the diving glove of Jonathan Schoop. And what does Jacoby Ellsbury do when he's on first base? Jacoby Ellsbury goes and swipes second base in there with ease, avoids the tag, using those wheels to put himself in scoring position. Brett Gardner would ground out to move him up to third, and then Carlos Beltran comes up, pops it up right behind shortstop in the outfield. You wouldn't think this would be enough to drive him in, but Everett Cabrera lollygagging out there in the outfield. Jacoby Ellsbury pays attention, and he scores on some heads-up base running. So 2-0 Yankees. To the bottom of the third we go. Runners on the corners as Ivan Nova hits Adam Jones and loads the bases. So bases juiced for Chris Davis. He takes a single into right field. It'll score 1 and 2. It'll be all tied up at 2 here in Baltimore in the bottom half of the third. Still bottom half of the third, Manny Machado at the plate takes one past A-Rod at third base, scores a run, and Baltimore takes their first lead of the ballgame, 3-2 O's. Delman Young comes up with runners on first and second, takes one into center field, and Jacoby Noodle Arm Ellsbury actually puts a dime to home plate. Romine slaps the tag, gets Chris Davis out, still 3-2 as we head to the top half of the fourth for Kevin FRANDSEN. Takes the 0-1 pitch into the left field seats. He picks up his 5th home run of the season since being signed by the Yankees. He's been a solid acquisition. So the bottom half of the fourth we go all tied up at 3, and Jonathan Schoop with a runner on first takes one into right center. It slowly rolls to the right field wall as Schoop picks himself up an RBI double as Caleb Joseph scores all the way from first. So Chasen Shreve comes in for Nova, who only lasted 3 innings. Runners on the corners, nobody out, and Alejandro De Haza, sac fly to left field, will score the runner from the third. It's a 5-3 Baltimore lead now. Adam Jones comes up to the plate with one out. Runner on first, takes one into center field, and Cabrera will go from first to third on the play. So Chris Davis comes up now later in the inning. One out, runners on the corners. He pops one up to left field. Gardner would get under it, but Cabrera is able to tag up and score on the play. Makes it 6-3 Orioles. It's a 3-run lead for them. So we'll head to the top half of the sixth now. Kevin FRANDSEN continuing to rake on the day. Slow hit dribbler up the middle for a base knock. Gets himself on first to start off the inning. Didi Gregorius comes up, draws a 4-pitch walk. So first and second now for the O's as the former freehold pitcher went to Monmouth University in New Jersey. Brad Bach comes in. Runners on second and third after a ground out moves him up, and a sac fly from Austin Romine will drive one in and move the other up to third base as it's now a 2-run ball game, 6-4. Jacoby Ellsbury comes up, takes one into center field. That'll score the next run, and it's going to be a 1-run ball game, 6-5, cutting down the O's lead. Jason Garcia comes in the ball game now in the top half of the seventh to face A-Rod with a runner on first. One out, and he takes one into right center. Alex Rodriguez with the clutch double scores Carlos Beltran as he gets his corpse all the way into home plate from all the way from first. So Andrew Miller comes in the ball game at the bottom half of the eighth, tie ball game. Runners on first and second, nobody out, and Brett Gardner misreads the ball, and that'll load the bases now for the Orioles. As Everett Cabrera comes up, he pops one up to shallow in the infield. So Giansanti is there to put away for one out. Still bases loaded. DeAza misses the bunt, and Delman Young tries the steal. Since they missed the bunt, he's able to slap the tag down, so 2 outs, and Miller is 1 strike away from getting out of it, and he gets the ground ball to second. He works out of the bases loaded, no out jam, still all tied up at 6, and it would stay like that till the top half of the 11th for Carlos Beltran. Takes one, no doubt, into deep right field at Camden Yards, and puts the Yankees up by a score of 7-6 in extra innings. So in the bottom half of the 11th, Dellin Betances would come in the ballgame for the 22nd time this season, looking for his 20th save. But with 1 out, a little dribbler back to him, and throwing it over to first base, he would injure his shoulder on the play. He would only be able to come out for this game, though, as he would be fine after the game. But Adam Warren comes in to completely shut the door, and he gets a ground ball to shortstop. Didi fires the first, and gets Chris Davis out for the final batter of the game as the Yankees finally start turning things around as they get the batters working, as they improve to 29-31 in the season, and the Orioles will drop to 29-31 in the season. Kevin Franzen picked up Player of the Game award, goes 3 for 5 in the day with a home run, a double, single, RBI, and scores in the day. Jacoby Ellsbury 2 hits for his own with an RBI. Carlos Beltran the go-ahead home run in the top half of the 11th with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as well. Anthony Giansanti went 2 for 5, the Connecticut native, with a triple as well. Justin Wilson picked up the win, and Adam Warren picking up his first save of the season. Now, with that being said, that'll wrap things up here for this edition of Yankees Baseball. I've been your host, JerseyBorn, and I'm saying goodbye.
We can dance if we want to, we can leave your friends behind. Cause your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well they're no friends of mine. See, we can go where we want to, places they will never find. And we can act like we come from out of this world, leave the real one for